Everyone thinks AOL died because of dial-up. They're catastrophically wrong. The year is 1998. America Online, or AOL, is a behemoth. Their discs litter every magazine, every supermarket checkout aisle. You couldn't escape them. They weren't just an internet service. They were the internet for millions, a walled garden of email, chat rooms, and curated content. Their stock price soared, their user base exploded, and the future seemed limitless. But beneath the surface, a fatal flaw was taking root, a strategic miscalculation that would eventually unravel their empire. It wasn't just about the shift from dial-up to broadband. It was about a profound misunderstanding of their own identity and the very nature of the burgeoning digital landscape. A misstep that would cost them everything. AOL's story begins in 1985 as Quantum Computer Services, founded by Steve Case. Initially, they offered online services for Commodore 64 and Apple Roman II users. It was niche, yes, but Case, a visionary with a sharp sense for mass-market appeal, saw the potential far beyond tech hobbyists. He wanted to bring the internet to everyone. By 1991, they rebranded as America Online. Their strategy was simple: make the internet easy, accessible, and user-friendly. They built a proprietary network, offered a graphical user interface long before Netscape or Internet Explorer, and charged a flat monthly fee. This was revolutionary in an era of per-minute charges. Their true genius, however, lay in marketing. Those free CDs were a stroke of brilliance. Hundreds of millions of them, literally. Flooding the market, they removed every barrier to entry. Just pop it in, install, and connect. For many, it was their first taste of the digital world, a world AOL had meticulously crafted. By the late 90s, AOL dominated. Over 20 million subscribers, generating billions in revenue. Their chat rooms buzzed, their email service was ubiquitous, and their instant messenger, AIM, was the lingua franca of online communication. They were the undisputed king of the dial-up era, the gatekeepers to the information superhighway. Then came the year 2000, and with it, the seismic, utterly bewildering merger with Time Warner, a $164 billion deal, the largest corporate merger in history at the time. It was heralded as the dawn of a new media age, a convergence of old and new content and distribution, a digital utopia. But this wasn't a merger of equals, it was a clash of cultures. Time Warner, a traditional media giant, was slow-moving, bureaucratic, and deeply resistant to change. AOL, for all its market dominance, was a tech company built on speed and innovation. The two simply didn't speak the same language. The timing, too, was catastrophic. The dot-com bubble burst just as the ink was drying on the deal. AOL's inflated stock, which had been the currency for the acquisition, plummeted. Suddenly, the $164 billion valuation looked like a cruel joke, a mirage in a collapsing market. More critically, the broadband revolution was underway. Cable modems and DSL were offering always-on, high-speed internet, rendering dial-up obsolete. AOL, with its closed ecosystem and reliance on its proprietary network, was ill-equipped to compete. They were still selling horse-drawn carriages while the automobile was revving its engine. Their content strategy, once a strength, became a weakness. While the rest of the internet was embracing open access and user-generated content, AOL clung to its curated, paid model. They charged for services that were becoming free elsewhere. It was a digital toll booth on a freeway that was rapidly becoming free for all. Their leadership was also in disarray. Steve Case, the visionary founder, was sidelined, unable to integrate the warring factions. Gerald Levin, the Time Warner CEO, retired, leaving a void. The company became a rudderless ship, adrift in a storm of technological change and corporate infighting. By 2002, just 2 years after the merger, AOL Time Warner posted a staggering $99 billion loss, the largest in U.S. corporate history. The dream had become a nightmare. The integration failed, synergies never materialized, and the combined entity hemorrhaged users and market value. AOL tried to adapt, offering broadband services, but they were always playing catch-up. They shed their proprietary content, opened up their instant messenger, but it was too little, too late. The perception of AOL as a relic of the dial-up age was firmly cemented in the public consciousness. In 2009, AOL was finally spun off from Time Warner, a shadow of its former self, valued at a mere fraction of its peak. The grand merger that was supposed to define the 21st century ended in a humiliating divorce, a cautionary tale of hubris and corporate misjudgment. Today, AOL still exists, a brand under Verizon Media, but it's a far cry from the digital powerhouse it once was. Its services are niche. Its name evokes nostalgia rather than innovation. The empire built on those ubiquitous CDs crumbled not just because of a technological shift, but because its leaders failed to see beyond their walled garden. The real tragedy of AOL isn't that dial-up died. It's that a company that once democratized the internet for millions became so entrenched in its own success, so blinded by its own ecosystem, that it couldn't adapt to the very future it helped create. A stark reminder that even giants can fall, not from external threats, but from internal blindness. Next, we'll expose the secret history of another tech giant's catastrophic gamble.